With that, ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to our next session, which is our second panel session of the day on something we haven't discussed so far yet, digital payments. Is cash dying or transforming in the NBFC sphere? And perfect panel session to talk on something which is such a crucial subject for the NBFC industry and the fintech industry as a whole. So now, without taking further time of yours, I would like to introduce the honorable panel members in the order of the sequence. Please help me welcome with big round of applause. Joining us first on the stage, Mr. Jeetendra Manik, Head Relationship Management Banks from NPCI. Can we have a big round of applause to Mr. Jeetendra Manik? Mr. Jeetendra Manik, ladies and gentlemen, from NPCI, joining the panel. A big round of applause, Jeetendra ji. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, Mr. Vaibhav Joshi, Board Advisory from PayMe India. Big round of applause to Vaibhav ji. Welcome to the panel, Vaibhav ji. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Shivakumar Nandipati, CDO from Fedbank Financial Services. A big round of applause to Shivakumar ji. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Rajeev Das, CEO from Loantap Group. A big round of applause to Rajeev ji. Welcome to the panel, Rajeev ji. Please have your seat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would like to call in the honorable panel moderator, Mr. C.A. Vijendra Shekhawat, CEO and Director from Choice FinServe. A big round of applause to Mr. Shekhawat. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Vijendra ji, all over to you. Looking forward to a great session.
Hello, audible? Thank you. Thanks. So, first of all, I welcome all the speakers on dais and all the audience who are listening us. The topic which we are covering today is actually a talking point since last 10 years in India. We all know that biggest innovation in India and across world in last so many years has happened around the payments and digital. So through today's session, we will try to convey some of the important aspect of the digital payments and the use cases of payments and digitalization specifically in the BFSI industry. We are very fortunate because we have a mix of speakers in the panel today, and the important is that as we called the Janam Data of digital payment system, NPCI is also with us today. So Jiten is there who represent the NPCI. So I think hearing from the mouth of the Janam Data will be a very good opportunity for us. Along with that, we have, speakers from NBFCs and also, from broking side too. So let's, I think, start the session. At the end of session, we'll definitely open the question and answers session to hear from you if you have any queries on the digital payments. So to start with, first, I'll request Jiten to please give small introduction of yourself and what NPCI is specifically doing around the payments that will help us.
Sure, Vijendra. Thank you. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I am Jeetendra Manik, part of business relationship team with NPCI, largely managing the public sector banks. And yes, as you all know, that NPCI is largely focusing on the digital front. So yeah, trying to empower especially these large mega PSU banks to penetrate more and more digital products into their customers and reach out to them in the tier 2, tier 3 markets as well. And from last 2 years, we are largely focusing on credit. So credit in the form of credit card or through the UPI channel. So we have launched a credit line on UPI already last year, and we are just trying to build more and more use cases to reach out to the masses so that everybody can have easy access to credit through UPI. Well, there's a lot to talk about. Maybe I'll wait for some questions and probably then contribute then.
Thanks, Jeetendra. Moving on to, we have a very experienced person with us, specifically from the digital payments. He was the chief digital officer for one of the second largest small finance bank also. I'll request Vaibhav to introduce yourself and your experience around the digital payment. I think you are the one who used NPCI's innovation majorly along all of us.
Thank you and a very good morning to all of you. Quick introduction, Vaibhav Joshi this side. I'm a board advisor to PayMe India. I run my own setup nowadays for the past 1.5 2 years. Used to be the chief digital officer of 𝐕𝒂𝐧𝒐 Small Finance Bank. Used to be the CEO of a fintech known as EasyPay. Started digital banking at Yes Bank way back in 2014. So created the entire digital banking stack that most of the fintechs used from Yes Bank between 2014 to 2020. So launched seen all these launches: FreeCharge, BharatPay, PhonePe, Razorpay, you name it, M2P, Decentro, etc., etc., etc. Worked very closely with NPCI right during 𝐴𝐵 sir days. So 𝐴𝐵 ji, the erstwhile CEO of NPCI, we worked in 2011 for IIT Bombay Cashless Campus, where we launched a NFC tag, and worked very closely with the current team as well under Dilip. So with Dilip, Praveena, Nalin, everyone on a lot of projects. See, today I think digital payments, India is at the forefront globally. Okay, what we have achieved, what we have innovated, it's not existent anywhere. I go to a lot of places, in Southeast Asia, in Middle East, and when I interact with the fintech associations and the members over there, I see that most of majorly Southeast Asia is still bent upon QR-based payments and wallets, and Middle East is also catching up. Very recently, I was there for GITEX last October, a speaker there, and that's when a couple of months post that they had launched an interoperable app, ANI, and I don't know what is the status of that. I'll probably see it next month when I'm going there. And if you talk about Europe, if you talk about Americas, then they are far behind. They are far behind when it comes to innovation in the payments space. We'll talk more during the panel, but payments is a very critical aspect when it comes to lending or NBFCs, because while NBFCs is primarily into lending, payments started as a method from a ease of collections perspective, and today it has embedded to such an extent that not just as a method, but it has also become a form of a customer convenience and a form of customer engagement for the NBFCs.
Thanks, Vaibhav. So I think you heard that one is the innovator of digital payments, and the second speaker is the person who advised so many companies to use the NPCI innovation. And now we have next two gentlemen who actually used their innovation and advice in their journey of business, in journey of developing their NBFC companies. So I'll request first Mr. Shiva Kumar. He represents Fedbank Financial Services here to introduce and just tell us how you are using the payment system.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hey, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shiva Kumar, Chief Digital Officer of Fedbank Financial Services. So at Fedbank Financial Services, we give loans to on the products of business loan, gold loan, home loan, affordable home loan, and loan against properties with 600 plus branches across the India. And with my career, I'm an NIT IM graduate who started career with investment side, money control, Sherkan, and then slowly moved to the lending side, Fedfina. Like how India is moving from saving to consumption, so I also moved like that to go with the flow. And be it either from the investment perspective or on the lending perspective, anywhere, the payments has become much more crucial, and we have seen the kind of transformation which has happened in the past decade. I would call again this as a three knots. One is the demonetization, which has come first, and entire the 1,500 notes have gone, and people started using currency. And then the second one is the geo revolution, internet revolution, which made people to use the currency and on the cash, everything related on the, made it comfortable and feasible for people, affordable for people to use on the internet. And third is the COVID. You can do nothing. You can't even transfer the notes, and people are feared of transferring the notes. So these three notes over the decade has continuously changed, and now everywhere across the organizations and institutions, we will have to follow, adapt, and use it. Like moderator rightly pointed, we are the heavy user of the payments, because gold loan, as you know, it's an intrinsic product where there are multiple delivery transactions keeps on happening. We have used it, and I would also love to speak about it on the panel going forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Siva. We'll definitely get good knowledge from you on the NBFC side in using the digital payments. Now we have Mr. Rajeev Das. He don't need any introduction as such. I think we all know Loantap, and this is the company who actually using digital lending and the physical lending. Rajeev being an ex-banker, I think he'll explain us more that how digital is helping all the NBFCs. So Rajeev, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, this is Rajeev this side. Hope I'm audible. So I always say that, sir, and we are all old bankers. Okay, so we only knew two things, lending money and taking the money back. Okay, so inside transactions and all. So when we moved out of the banking industry, we served around 18 to 20 years and then moved out. We thought that time digital was actually sparking out. So I think so digital is the way we wanted. So we wanted the transactions to be faster. Okay, so it is not only on the documentation but also on the payment side. I think so with NPCI coming in and India being, as Vaibhav also mentioned, India is far ahead nowadays. If I visit Europe very instantly, so it takes clearly 2 to 3 days still there for any transaction to pass from one bank to the other bank. I think so. Here, the concept is in seconds. Okay. And also, there is a lot of pressure on us bankers. I have seen that the file movement started in 4-5 days. It came down to 24 hours. Now with 10 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay. So all these things, I think so. Two important factors which I want to highlight is speed, the speed at which the files are moving, the payment structures, they are giving us a lot of data, the kind of behavioral skills. And the second important thing is financial inclusion. Okay, so nowadays, due to this UPI payments and all, so the rural unbanked areas, we are able to tap them also. And today, as bankers, we have some credible data on the kind of movements of the kind of money they are spending, or what kind of money they are able to do it. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. So I think so. This new digital revolution, including the payments, will actually help India and take India to the next level.
Thanks, Rajeev. So friends, myself, Vijendra Shekhawat, CA Vijendra Shekhawat. I am the CEO for Choice FinServe. We are the part of Choice International Limited, which is a listed company, and we are into the multiple financial service product, start from broking to insurance to mutual fund. We are also in category 1 merchant banker, and we also have our own NBFC. So specifically in our group, we used maximum of the digital processing and the payments because we are in the multiple financial services, and to a single customer we can offer multiple products only with the help of digital processing as of today. So I just start with one story. One day there is a gentleman from Nepal. He owns a biggest bank in Nepal. He visited our office just to see that how you people are using this digital processing in India, sir. So After 2 hours of presentation from our side on the digital processing and digital payment, he was so surprised and he told us that boss, आपके पास जो है, you are so fortunate in India. You people who are in the BFSI, you are so fortunate that you have all these data available online through the government now. Being an NPCI, RBI, all these are focusing on these digital payments, digital data points and all these. You are so fortunate. I don't know, नेपाल में तो उन्होंने बोला है कि शायद हमको 100 साल बाद ये ड्रीम देखने को मिलेगा, right? So this is the story of Indian digital payments, friends. I think now the UPI is using almost by 46 countries, if I'm right, which is built by NPCI. So my first question is going to NPCI person only. So Jiten, this is for you. Being an innovator of UPI and so many other payment system, I am sure you are feeling proud that you people are taking India ahead across the world in the financial sector. So just wanted to have your experience that how this digital payments specifically helping to the BFSI companies, right? And as an NPCI, what you are thinking next, right? So if you can answer this.
Yeah. So you rightly talked about the UPI building up innovation across our other product lines. So I don't know if many of you are aware that UPI can be linked with credit card also. So especially the RuPay credit card, because right now RBI has only allowed RuPay as a network. So if you hold a RuPay credit card, you can enable it on any of the UPI apps and simply scan and pay. So you can also pay your small payments like a chai payment also through a credit card today. So through the power of UPI. So yeah, UPI, we already have 400 million users already, but yeah, there is immense potential. We have still not covered the 1,000 million which are still not on UPI. But yeah, to expand credit, we, like I mentioned, we've also launched credit line on UPI, and with the help of fintechs, with the help of banks and their digital apps and the innovation that they have come up with, we are trying to spread digital credit to the tier 2, tier 3 markets, and also it's an experience for us as a customer also. So today, if I am going and scanning and paying any payment, so I instantly get an option whether I need to pay through my current account or savings account or through credit line. So then and there, basis my choice, I can decide what sort of payment modes I would want to get in. So yeah, definitely NBFCs should largely focus on digital because it will definitely help them increase their efficiency in terms of the processing. The customer experience improves overall because today it's all about what sort of experience we are offering to our customers in terms of also onboarding them, because largely today customers are onboarded on the go. So the digital onboarding journey plays a very important role here. So what sort of, with minimal steps or with minimal information, if you are able to offer him a credit line, is something what a customer looks at. Otherwise he gets switched off easily. Obviously this helps in cost reduction because there is no manual intervention involved. It's purely automated, and you are linked with UDI, and you are able to pull out information. And yes, with that you are able to reach a wide audience across markets. And definitely since it's through the apps, so yeah, there is a lot of security as well, and the transparency. And at the same time, we see these customers, if they are transacting on any particular fintech app time and again, you are able to see their journey, you are able to see their behavior, and basis that you are able to throw him his set of preferences. And yes, if the journeys and the experience and the package is right, definitely then there is a competitive edge for these NBFCs to compete and get the maximum share. Yeah.
Hello. Thanks, Jeetendra. I think this gives us a good experience that how NPCI built this innovation. I'm sure all of you agree that NPCI along with RBI always available and ready to do the next level of innovation. I think what जितेन इज ऑल्सो सेइंग अभी तो कुछ किया है, अभी पिक्चर और बाकी है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें इन प्लान है एनपीसीआई के साथ, बिकॉज हम लोग भी बहुत कनेक्टेड रहते हैं. सो वी नो दैट नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ डिजिटलाइजेशन ऑल्सो कमिंग. सो आई एम श्योर दैट एनपीसीआई थ्रू दिस स्टेज really need a huge round of applause from our side. So I'll request everyone to please give a huge round of applause for them. As this digital payment and digital data point is built now, actual users in the BFSI at the biggest level is basically NBFCs and the broking houses these days. We all see every day that there are so many new broking mobile apps are coming. No, they are providing fully digital service when you do the transactions or you do the share tradings and all. We have an expert person with us who worked in both the segment, securities as well as the NBFC side, Mr. Siva Kumar. So I just wanted to understand from Siva Kumar that in Fedbank financial services as well as your experience with the other financial service sectors, what is your thought how you people are using the digital payments, not only payments, but I understand this in underwriting also the digital system is very, very important these days when you're deciding the customer offer. So just wanted to know your experience and things you wanted to share for digital payments.
Sure. Let me tell you some small story on this payments. When we made it live few years back, we have a gold loan portfolio also. So in a tier 2 city, when people pledge the gold and they take the money. The fun part of the gold is the gold price keeps on changing, and then you are eligible for top-ups also, as well as you may get margin calls also in case if you are falling below the loan to value. So this was during the COVID time. When the gold price also shot up, and the branches are also not even opened, not even opening. People couldn't get the money, and they're in the dire need of money, and people are going through the hell lot of hospitals and these kind of issues as well. At that point of time, our payments were up and active. But we have made something on the communication part also, made it a little smoother and ensured that whoever are eligible for top up, they get the notification, and if notification is not being served, we are sending SMS and calls also. So this was one case. Actually, I would feel that in my 6 years of my experience with Fedfina, this is something I feel it is a great achievement that I have done on my own. That's why I wanted to share this story with you, how the digital payments are useful. So the point of time when the people were at hospital, and this lady was at hospital, his husband was was admitted in the hospital for during the COVID case, and there was a call. He has no idea actually where was her gold and all that stuff. Also from our side there was a call, and then we told that you had the gold pledged and your money is the gold price has gone up and there is an eligibility of repledge. There's eligibility for the top up. If you repledge it or from the online, or you take the top up button from the online, you will get some 32,000 amount of the money. So she was like literally flowing into the tears, and she said, I was looking for money from so long to find out, and I don't know now where should I come and collect all that stuff. We said it will come directly to you, because that's the way we have given the money initially. When your husband has pledged the gold, it will come directly into that account and you can use it. So that part of it really, I had felt that was the heavy work satisfaction which I got, because it really helped to save some end customers at the nick of the moment when they really need the money. It actually went to them. Our team actually guided how to do the top up and all, have done that for her. The money came in, so she was able to do, spend some money there at hospital, pay the bills and all that stuff. So what I felt was, with the digital payments, the way it got penetrated, and this is in tier 2 city, at corner of the place where it's in Tamil Nadu, some tier 2 city, where it was, even the language was also barrier, and people, it was little hurdle to make people understand. But then also things got penetrated, and now we are sure, even the percentages of us, on the repledge percentages, top up percentage, digital payments percentages, are always on the upwards curve, not just for our company, entire NBFC and industry as a whole. And in last 5 years, the numbers have gone to 2x at least. If they were doing 30% earlier, they were doing at 65-67% today on the digital transaction percentage versus the cash transaction percentages. That's the heavy amount of the usage which has come into the NBFC, and people are also preferring. And anyway, the bigger amounts of more than 2 lakhs and all, people wanted to take it on the digital mode only. That is a mandate as well, and people wanted to do it. But even the smaller amounts also, people are more comfortable to do it, because if the money comes to them, they doesn't need the cash, because on the spending side also there is an UPA, and they wanted to do it from the bank account. Whatever the time the money stays in the account, it will earn the interest. So it's a better deal for people as well. That's how.
Thanks, Shiva. I think you tell us that how this digital processing is important in the NBFC assets. So I have one more gentleman. I'll come later on with Rajeev, that he will tell you that how digital payments are creating problem in when we are going for collection, right? So there is a different story on that. So I'm coming to Vaibhav now. So Vaibhav, being a board member for so many digital payment companies, I think what we wanted to understand, Vaibhav, from you is that India has moved from cash to cashless economy now, right? We can experience that. But do you really think that still India has reached to that level and in the cashless economy, or still there is a requirement and the use cases are there where people are still using the cash? And how we can, as an industry, reach more and more people and go to a zero level of cash in India? So what is your advice on that?
Very interesting question, whether India has reached a cashless economy or not. I think India reached a cashless economy the day, UPI was launched and UPI became successful, and, Paytm, PhonePe, BharatPays of the world went ahead and, pasted QR codes across every small merchant in the country. That's the day, India went cashless. You could get out of your house, link your bank account to, any of these apps, scan the QR code and make the payment. Of course, we had wallets before that. We had, PPIs like Paytm, MobiKwik before that, free charge, through which the payments used to be done. But there has been a reverse movement, okay, and let me explain you the reverse movement as well, because these are the practical issues faced on the ground level when we go to the ground level. So there is this, and for the longest time, I have not been carrying a wallet, especially when I am in Bombay. I don't carry a wallet. Everything is digital on this phone, okay, whether it's my RC book, whether it's my license, whether it's my PAN, Aadhaar, everything is digital. Okay, and I use PhonePe. We launched PhonePe. I use PhonePe. Everything is there. Now, recently I went to this stationery shop, okay, and close to my house. I went there and I wanted to take a printout of an agreement. I was signing on a new client. I had to take a printout. I went there. Directly from some meeting, I went there. I mailed him the file. He kept the printout ready. He will not take 25 rupees, 5-page printout, 5 rupees per page. 25 rupees, he would not take UPI. And I was like, what happened? I always paid UPI to him. And he was like, sir, bank ne folio charges marna shuru kar diya. And I was like, what is this folio charges? So I sat with him to understand. He showed me his statement. And in that statement, his bank started charging him folio charges for all payments under 100 rupees. Okay, now this is not a UPI charged at NPCI. NPCI is, UPI is basically subvented. So, there is a small switching fee, but banks take care of that. Other than that, UPI is subvented to an extent. And very soon we will see that, there will be an interchange on UPI, MDR on UPI as well. The way credit, debit cards, prepaid cards have an MDR, UPI will also very soon, that announcement will come. But this folio charges very interestingly is, the CBS, the core banking system that a bank carries. Okay, it's a ledger. There is a inward and outward. If you take your bank statement and you will see a credit debit. So every credit debit, for small value transactions, especially if you're holding a current account. I'm not talking about savings account. Savings account, you will see if you are not maintaining a particular balance, you will see, IMPS this much, NEFT this much. They will still charge you. AMB, if you are not maintaining average minimum balance this much, average monthly balance this much. These folio charges, interestingly, to merchants, either proprietor ka or sole proprietor ka or partnership ka, which is ka is current account, the type of a current account that these MSMEs operate. And when I dwelled into it, Vijendra, I understood that while UPI may not be charged, these merchants are now being forced by their bankers to actually, maintain a particular amount into their bank. If not, then so he was like, sir, iska solution though. And he knows my profile because he's the guy who prints my visiting cards. He's like, iska solution though. I gave him a solution. I worked with a fintech and I gave him a solution, which is a stopgap arrangement. But for India to become a truly cashless society, I think this entire generation, this is sitting over here, including me, this generation will have to phase out and the new generation will have to come in. And this is what we were discussing, Rajeev, and we were discussing in the other room also, and he was promoting phygital and I was promoting digital. Okay, pre-panel discussions. And he was like, sir, जब तक हम है तो phygital ही रहेगा because हमको तो देखना है पेपर के भाई आदमी है कि नहीं है तो ही लोन देंगे ठीक से. Which is fair, NBFCs, which is absolutely fair. And I was like, यार मैं 2 मिनट की लोन भी करता हूँ. And he was like, NPA level देखना आगे जाके. So it's a friendly banter चलता है because that's a fact. NBFCs में ऐसा होता है, right? Now, so then look at this, Vijendra. Now, where it is, so once this generation shifts, okay, and when the switching fee actually comes to a level where probably we will have to see what is NPCI's take on UPI MDR, because the day UPI MDR comes back, sabzi wale will stop accepting UPI, okay, pan walas will stop accepting chai walas. That is a concern. That is a concern because today when I go to a shop in a tier 2 city in India, if I use my credit card, that guy still tells me, I 2% do. Okay. That guy, I argue with him, यार तुम्हारा बैंक POS charge नहीं करता है. But he still, नहीं sir. देना है तो नहीं तो cash दो. UPI कर लो. The day UPI will charge MDR, probably this, so as a country, we have to find a solution to these kind of issues. Okay. We have done a fantastic job in launching cashless society. Now maintaining that is probably a larger challenge than launching it. I hope I have given a slightly different perspective to the audience than a standard run-of-the-mill discussion.
Yes, yes, you are absolutely right, Vaibhav. I think everyone agrees on that the reverse economy is already started. And the reason you just explained, that reason might be that only. I was with some of the bankers last week. The reason behind that, earlier when a sabji wala or chai wala was maintaining an account, the transaction was very, very low in a month, right? 1 or 2 transactions only. But after, introducing UPI, there are huge number of transactions coming in the bank account. And then what bankers are saying, to maintain that transactions, right, they need some kind of an expense to be incurred on the server side and the core banking system side and all these. So there was some different kind of an thoughts from every industry perspective. But you're right, as an industry we should think. I think from this stage we wanted to send a message to the bankers that there is a good innovation, please usko thoda khatam nahi kare, right? So
and mind you, I am not talking about solutions because we have launched solutions where even a MFI collection in a JLG, joint liability, or a SHG, erstwhile SHG, now JLG models are also done digitally totally. Okay, there are fintechs like 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 which are there. Okay. We have launched solutions where even a 10 rupee daily street vendor collection that a corporation has to be done is also done digitally through an app or even a WhatsApp bot. So those things exist. From a cashless economy perspective, those things exist. There are beggars who will go ahead with a QR code, sir de do. This is also the true fact of India. So cashless economy exists. But to sustain that cashless economy is going to be a slightly larger challenge, primarily also because of the infrastructure that we have built as a part of this. The digital public infrastructure that exists in the country today, which has enabled all this and which will now banks are looking at monetizing that. And when it comes to monetizing that sustenance, that is where the true, that's where we'll start bleeding blue and will the true, how do we call it? Sustenance power will be tested.
I agree, Vaibhav. Coming on to the next part, I think for each innovation, there is a reverse aspect also, right? So I have my good friend Rajeev with me. So when we use the digital processing in the underwriting, there are some cases which we also experienced. अभी आप लोगों ने भी सुना होगा कि दिन में जो क्यूआर कोड होता है वो दुकान पे रहता है और रात को वो क्यूआर कोड कहीं और पहुंच जाता है. एक्सपीरियंस किया है किसी ने? हमने एक्सपीरियंस किया है इन द इंडस्ट्री. सो रात को क्यूआर कोड किसी और पर्पज से यूज होता है, दिन में किसी और पर्पज से यूज होता है और उसमें ऐसा लगता है कि सारा ट्रांजेक्शन बिजनेस ट्रांजेक्शन है, राइट? एंड उसके बेसिस पे लोन हो जाता है और जब कलेक्शन करने जाते हैं तब समझ आता है कि ये गड़बड़ हो गई थी, राइट? सो देर इज एन डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑल्सो. सो माई question to Rajeev is that we can use the digital processing, digital payment history of the customer in underwriting. But do you really think this is impacting the collection portfolio of the NBFCs also? Or digital payments actually helps in improving the collection efficiency of NBFCs?
Yeah, so as I always say, when poverty strikes the door, love flies out of the window. Okay, so for me and the very important thing is that we are all answerable to our investors, and so the money is very important. And we being bankers, we also have a responsible lending system. Of course, I totally agree with all my fellow panelists that digital is the way forward. You cannot go back now. Okay. However, we have observed, and you can say that we are from the old school. All those things is fine, but still, we believe that we have to understand the customer. Of course, today, being in the digital world, understanding the payment structure, like everybody was saying, So I was discussing with my panwala whom I took it for cigarettes. So he was saying me, how much do I earn? So he was telling he wanted a loan and all. So I knew he was doing good, but suddenly he said that I around 20,000 a day. So I said, okay, 6 lakhs a month. So I said, fine. So मैं बोला, how much loan are you looking at? So he told, sir, at least 40 to 70 lakh rupees. So please understand. Now, earlier probably he would have not been able to understand or justify, But of course, the digital payments have made him a good client for many of the bankers. Okay. Uh, we have to understand the ecosystem very well. As banks, institutions, and I always say, you only the people look at the forward side. So on the pressure which is there right now developing for the NBFCs, for the banks, is the shortage of cash flowing in. Okay, I always talk about today the new generation, the millennials are all investing in mutual funds and all. So the cost of people depositing FDs and all has gone up, is gone down. Sorry, so it's reduced. And I was in a panel sometime back in a TV show where I mentioned around 52% of all the fixed deposits is today held by senior citizens. Okay, these are more vulnerable because of the frauds kind of things which are flowing out. The media covers a lot. Maybe it may be a small incident, but it makes a huge impact. Now, considering the banks and the NBFCs, the second round of people who are able to cater, like the NBFCs, the fintechs who want to cater to this segment, they are held back a lot because of the ability of the funds receiving at a lower cost. So of course, well, people like Vaibhav and all, they have innovated, but somehow, every time I always say, there's somebody who is ahead of us and trying to making that fraud, and this is the I think so. This is the generation. I think so. This is you have to be more careful. Okay, you should not go overboard. I always say, a lot of people do not agree with me, but sometimes we have seen a lot of startups going overboard. We didn't have the concept of burning, but nowadays, the burning kind of stage has started. But I think so. We have, as a people who have been in the industry, who have understood the industry, it's very important for us also to take a pause, understand the risk involved, and then move forward. If you see the American economy or the European economy and all, still they are using the old methods. उनके लिए fraud and risk बहुत बड़ी एक problematic है statement. So I said, why don't you use it? They are still not convinced. Okay, but I think so. With the technology coming in, it will become more secured. We will get the data, because I think so. Today, 75% of the data which is coming to us is official, like from CIBIL, from NPCI, from all the renowned sources, we are getting the data. So every cross checks are happening. Good softwares are there, but I still believe that हमारे जो AI है, जो inbuilt AI है ना, so of course there are a lot of AIs which are available, and but I think so that inbuilt AI works more efficiently, and it has always shown good results, है ना. So maybe probably our thoughts will also change. I'm not saying that it will not change, but at certain moment of times we should not go overboard. That is my thing. Be patient. अगर 20 minutes के बाद आपका लोन हो रहा है, so it doesn't matter that आपको 20 minutes लग जाए. तो normally the sales teams will come to all of us and say, sir, वो बैंक 5 मिनट में कर रही है, वो बैंक 8 मिनट में कर रही है, 10 मिनट में कर रही है. So it doesn't matter. When you're taking a loan, it is not a dying situation. You're taking a housing loan or a personal loan. I don't know what 10-15 minutes or half an hour will matter. Okay, so be patient. I think so. As a responsible lenders, we need to understand, analyze, and definitely, I will just say one thing is that the bank's cash management system में जितना खर्चा होता था, that has actually reduced. Now the problem is that people are not walking into the banks. Okay, that has created more issues. They are not able to cross sell. तो ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजें आ रही है, but again at some moment of time everything will become digitization. It's a reality. You cannot run away from it. That's all.
Thanks, Rajeev. I think during your discussion you touched a really important point, which is risk and fraud, right? So along with these digital payments, the security is a bigger concern, right? So my next question to Jiten and Vaibhav both is that along with this innovation, because in this whole most of the people are from BFSI industry, and they must have built their organization around the digital payments only. So what kind of a message you wanted to pass on to these people, that along with the digitalization, what level of security they should be take care of, so that their customer should not envisage any kind of a risk or fraud. They can have 100% confidence on their system that if I am working with this NBFC, this bank, or any company, I am confident that their security level is good. So what they should do around that? So first, Jiten, if you can cover, then Vaibhav will.
Okay. So, yeah, while the digital transformation is growing day by day, with so many options coming in, so many new age TPAPs, new age the fintechs coming in, I think it's a ecosystem responsibility. It's not only us. The government should take the initiative to time and again create this awareness. While NPCI is also doing their bit by doing lot of awareness campaigns across frauds, because with more and more digital there are frauds prone to happen. Yes, uh, that is what we should continue to do time and again, because there are a lot many people who are still not aware of the complete they are not digitally savvy. So I think yes, they can have such attacks. So yeah.
So I think other than the change management and customer continuous customer communication, customer education, there are a few other aspects also. I think in India, Reserve Bank of India has a very straightforward laid out guidelines when it comes to security. So whenever there is a new tech that gets launched, there are certain audits that need to be taken care of. Whenever there is a new partnership that is getting launched, there is application security testing. We call it VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, that needs to be done. That certification needs to be taken, and then only post that the application goes live. Even from a data storage perspective, the guidelines are very clearly stated where the data needs to reside, and the onus lies with the regulated entity, which will be a bank, an NBFC, a PPI, so on and so forth. But when it comes to fraud, and I wanted to add to what Rajeev was saying, when it comes to fraud, see, in a country like India, we have all seen Jamtara. I hope everyone has seen Jamtara. For those who have not seen, please go ahead and see that. And I'll just share one experience where nobody can help anything. This house registry. On house registry, we have our biometric given. Okay, for those of you who have purchased the houses, we have given a biometric. I personally faced this in two of my previous organizations. Both were banks. Okay, and we had data stolen from certain states' house रजिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट वॉट एवर इट इज, जो रजिस्ट्रेशन डिपार्टमेंट होता है वहाँ से, मतलब दैट हाउस रजिस्ट्रेशन डेटा वो स्टोलन, बायोमेट्रिक वॉज कैप्चर्ड, बायोमेट्रिक के बेसिस पे सिलिकॉन बना, एंड देन यूजिंग AEPS, आधार एनेबल पेमेंट सिस्टम, AEPS इज कार्डलेस ATM. फॉर दोज ऑफ यू डोंट नो, AEPS अपना पॉज डिवाइस पे एक बायोमेट्रिक डोंगल होता है. You put your Aadhaar number or your mobile number and you put your biometric, it will fetch all your bank accounts from NPCI, and Aadhaar is used as an authenticator, which was there with that, in your housing document, which got stolen, and खाते में से पैसा निकलना चालू हो गया. Fortunately, AEPS has a limit of 10,000 rupees per transaction. So every transaction they could only take out 10,000 rupees. Now, these kind of frauds, honestly, in a digital age, it's very difficult to even control, because this is not a cyber attack or a man in the middle attack. Similarly, one of the most bankers that I know, his wife fell prey. Yeah, 30 seconds. His wife fell prey to a online fraud while buying liquor online, and he's one of the most bankers I know in the country. And matlab almost close to 100K, 1 lakh rupees was siphoned off. Man in the middle attack. So those things, it's very difficult. Like he said, collectively as an ecosystem, we have to take care of it. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Vaibhav and Jiten. I think only to add on this, that all these VAPT and security testing is not one kind of an event. We as an owners, every time we need to keep on checking the security system regularly in our organization, because as Rajeev said, fraudsters are very beyond us. हम सोच भी नहीं सकते. जो एग्जाम्पल भी वैभव ने दिया, अब वैभव ने एग्जाम्पल दिया, उसके बारे में कोई सोच के उसका सोल्यूशन थोड़ी कर सकता है, वो तो उसके दिमाग में फ्रॉडस्टर में आ गई. सो जस्ट कीप ऑन चेकिंग दैट. So with the time, actually what I think we can take only 2 questions from the audience side. If you allow us just 1 minute more, and then we can sum up the presentation.
Sure, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a big round of applause to this wonderful panel here on digital payments. Great insights by the panel members and wonderfully moderated by Vijendra ji. And yes, I think in the interest of the time, because we are running a little tight schedule, we can take two quick questions. So request you, if you have question, please raise your hand. Do introduce yourself and the organization, and it will be great if you can point out the panel member.
I think I'll talk about two questions are there. One is that today UPI and everywhere, my mobile number is linked to all the payments, including my bank accounts and everything. So if you go to the tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, and tier 4 cities, people have the habit of changing the mobile number, right? It's quite frequent. Now, can we look at India as having a digital national identity for every individual? That is common across wherever I go. Just like Aadhaar is unique, it stays with me throughout my life. Similar to that, can we have a national digital ID, right? That can prevent. So I can change my mobile numbers, I can change my anything, but that number doesn't change. Today, because a lot of frauds are also linked to because of the SMS links and other things which are coming on that. So even that can be prevented if you look at it, right? So yeah, second thing is that today when I make a payment on the UPI, when I transfer the money, I lose the money. I cannot recall it back. So if I make a mistake, then the money is lost, because I don't know who the other party is unless I call that person and request them to make or repay the money. Once I make the payment, it's gone. How do we address such situations?
Any particular panel member to whom?
Vaibhav, I think you are
I
the
will
right
take
person.
that.
Yeah.
Am I audible? See, answering your first question, let us understand the digital public infrastructure that India has. Okay, every Aadhaar number, which is our unique ID, which is our social security number, Aadhaar number is a unique ID that India already has. But if you look at, so Aadhaar is UIDI, and at the bank level we have NPCI, which is basically a quasi regulator. It's not regulated. First 10 banks came, then all the banks are there, and that is where the mobile number seeding is done into the bank account. Okay. Post that, Aadhaar seeding is done, where Aadhaar number is mapped to your mobile number. Even today, the unique ID field in our CBS is a mobile number. That is how a customer gets identified. Okay, and that is the premise that Aadhaar number and a mobile number are married to each other. Look at it as a two-factor authentication. For those people who get prepaid cards, they will have to do, and that is why UIDI has made it very easy to change your mobile number online also. You go to UIDI website, you can change your linked mobile number. Second thing, what also happens is Aadhaar seeding. When you open a bank account and you put your mobile number and they do the Aadhaar seeding, then your last account that was opened will actually be the default Aadhaar linked account, which means if somebody is getting a subsidy, gas subsidy, this subsidy, it actually falls into the Aadhaar seeded account. That is why that mobile number is important. Number two, other question. Now, if you are writing a check, if you are doing an NEFT, RTGS, IMPS from a mobile banking, would you double check the account number or not? UPI is exactly the same. If you are making a UPI payment, generally what happens, and that is where there have been secure. So if you send me a QR code, there is a limit. I can only transfer you up to 2,000 rupees. I cannot transfer you more than 2,000 rupees because you have sent me a QR code. I have downloaded it to my photo gallery. I have scanned it from any UPI app. So that is like a protection. If you go to National Common Mobility Card, tap and go, there is a limit of 5,000 rupees. So it is like this. If my wallet gets stolen, how much money am I ready to lose? I say 2,000, okay, or 5,000. So that is where the limit actually comes into play. There is UPI Lite for offline payments from a without a PIN number perspective. So I think there is 500 rupees limit. UPI Lite, what is the around that? UPI Lite is also there, and eventually you will be able to set your own limits. Without PIN number, you can transfer payments. But with PIN number, look at it like making a check payment. There is a one check. See, convenience has to be balanced with diligence as well. Let me put it that way. UPI payment, that is why the PIN number is there. And that is where the moment you scan a QR code, it will fetch the merchant details and it will tell you the name. QR code, dekha aapne, Shri Shakti Medical Stores, it will come. Pankaj Sharma, it will come. We have to verify that as we are writing a check or something.
Thank you, Vaibhav ji. Thank you so much.
Another way to counter this is we have also launched a credit card on UPI linkage. So if you have a credit card, at least it's not your own money gone instantly. So maybe you can start you linking that and using at least for the merchant payments wherever you feel you want to do it through card, because on credit card you have a dispute resolution in place, you have a 1 month period to look at the statement and then repay back.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, again, a big round of applause for this wonderful panel here. And now I would like to quickly call on stage Mr. Chetan Takavle from Pinnacle Teleservices to kindly do the honors of felicitating this wonderful panel of experts here. Do we have Chetan here? Mr. Amit Srivastava, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call on stage Mr. Amit Srivastava from Pinnacle to do the honors. Amitji, if you could kindly come and do the honors of felicitating the panel members here. We'll start first with Mr. Jeetendra Manik from NPCI. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Jeetendra Manik for his wonderful contribution in this panel session. Moving next to Mr. Vaibhav Joshi, PayMe India. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Vaibhav Joshi for his wonderful contribution in this panel session. Moving next to Mr. Shivakumar Nandipati from Fedbank Financial Services. A big round of applause to Mr. Shivakumar Nandipati for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. Rajeev Das from Loantap Group. A big round of applause to Mr. Rajeev Das for his wonderful contribution in the panel. And now our honorable panel moderator, CA Vijendra Shekhawat from Choice FinServe. A big round of applause to Vijendra ji for wonderfully moderating the panel and also for his insightful thoughts in this panel session. Thank you, gentlemen. Request all of you to kindly step forward for a group photograph. And Amit ji, if you could also join them. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our second panel of the day, digital payments. And wonderfully, we had a great session with this eminent panel members and our honorable panel moderator. Thank you all. And thank you so much, Amit ji, for doing the honors.